All right, a video about how to use animation in your class. I'm Donald Reese. I am a middle school science teacher, and we're going to start with a finished product here. This is Phoebe, a sixth grader, and this is an animation that she made showing a chemical reaction. The assignment was to animate a chemical reaction. This is the combustion of methane. This one's pretty good. And she made this entirely in Google Slides and then sent me a link. Now, let me show you another animation. We were studying plate tectonics, and this is Lily's animation of the type of faulting that leads to a basin and range topography. Horsten-Graben faulting. And here's another student animation about the creation of ammonia, nitrogen and hydrogen gas becoming ammonia. Here is one this is not very scientific. This is when we were learning how to do animation. This is B's animation of a goldfish. And this also was not part of a assignment. This is Andrew animating a stick man. All right, now how do you go about doing this? And well, the why. Why would you go about doing this? I think the reason you would go about doing this is for teaching. If you're teaching a concept. I think this applies especially to science teachers because we teach a lot of processes which have a beginning and an end, which can be visualized. I have a hard time thinking about how a language arts teacher or a math teacher would use this, but maybe a creative person would come up with a solution. Perhaps an art teacher could use this sort of thing, but definitely in science. All right, now I'm going to take you through the steps of making an animation. All the steps will be written out in the document that you have, so you don't need to take notes. We're going to start by opening up a new tab and then find the waffle. Click on that and choose Slides. And I'm going to choose Blank for the template. And I'm going to get rid of the text boxes. Then I want a background for this one. You don't always need a background, but for this one I do. I'm going to click on Background, and I'm going to click on Choose Image, and then I'm going to go to Google Images. And in Google Images, I'm going to type in the word reef, and I'll look for a good-looking reef. Let's see. I'll go with this one. All right, insert, and all of my slides will now have this background. Now, I want a fish, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to search for an image. So, you can use any image you have. I'm going to search on the web. I'm going to go Insert, Image, search the web, and again, I'm going to use Google Image Search. I'm up here in the upper right. I'm going to search for fish. Whoops. Fish. And I'm going to put in the word transparent, and you will see why later. All right. There's a good-looking fish right there. And I'll just put him. Whoop. Yeah, there he is. It's a little bit too big. I'll grab the handle and resize him. All right, there's my fish. Now I'll show you what happens if you don't get something with a transparent background. I'm just going to search for fish this time. And let's see about this fellow right here. If I put him on the page, yeah, he's got a white background. That's never going to work. I like transparent backgrounds. Okay, so here's my fish. The way my animation is going, I'm going to cut him for a second. Just cut him out. And I'm going to do a few slides with no fish on it. And you can go, let's see, edit, duplicate. You see I have 2 slides now. Edit, duplicate. Keyboard shortcut, of course, is Command D. I'm going to do that, make about 5 of those. All right, now I'm going to paste in my fish. And first slide where we have the fish, it's going to be barely showing. All right, so this is on the 5th slide. Now, I'm going to duplicate this slide, Command D, and then move the fish a little bit. All right, and then duplicate the new slide, move the fish a little bit. Duplicate the new slide, move the fish a little bit. That's the way animation works, of course. Each picture is a little bit different than the last one. All right. And there he goes. Now, if I ever want to test and see how this animation looks, I can just go up to the first slide and use the arrow key. I'm going to arrow through, boom, 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 boom. There goes my fish. All right. Now, I'm not going to take you through the whole tedious process of me creating this animation. I will show you the finished product. Okay, here it is. It's a bunch of slides. I'm going to arrow through them. Here's my finished product. I've got a bunch of slides. I'm going to arrow through them. There goes a couple of fish. There they go. And I'm just testing out my animation. There's my animation. This one actually is 51 slides. The last few slides, there's nothing going on. All right? Now, in the next part, I will show you how to make this animation run automatically. It's called publishing it to the web. All right, here's the next step. This is how you publish it to the web. First thing we're going to do is we're going to select every last slide. I'm going to click on one slide. I think if I go select all, right, it selected all 51 of the slides. And the menu is kind of hard to find. File, Share, Publish to the web. And there's some choices here. It says auto advance slides every 3 seconds. No, make it 1 second. And I would choose both of these boxes. Start the slideshow as soon as the player loads, and restart the slideshow after the last slide. That makes it loop. All right? And there is the link. It says press Apple C to copy, or Command C to copies. So I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to open up a new tab, paste it in, and off we go. It's going to play my animation. There goes the fish. Yeah? And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking this is painfully, painfully slow. And you're right, because it's advancing the slide once every second. That's kind of the default there. All right, and you want to change that, don't you? You want the slides to go faster. And you can. All right, I'm going to hit the space bar. And that'll pause my little friends here. Now I have this ridiculously long address up at the top. And I'm going to get in it. And I'm going to arrow over until I see the word delay. True. There it is. Delay MS, which is milliseconds or something, which is 1,000. 1,000 equals 1 second. That's way, way, way too slow. If we make it 100, that'll make the slides advance at, 10 times faster at once every 1/10 of a second. So I'm going to hit return and see what effect that has on my fish. That's better, isn't it? There they go. Off they go. This is how you manipulate the speed. All right? You could make them go even faster if we wanted to. Let's stop them. We'll find the delay again. And we'll make them go way too fast. Instead of 100, we'll make them go like 20. I don't think this will work real well. off they go. All right, so you can use that to change the speed of your animation. Now, one thing I think you want to do in an animation is to pause sometimes. I'll show you what I mean. Here is this animation we saw before, creation of ammonia. I think this student was successful, completed the assignment. One thing that would make it a little bit better is if there was a pause right at the end, right here. What if we got a chance to like stop and look at that for a while? Now, how do you do that? Well, since the slides are going by really fast, if you want to pause, you have to take a slide and copy it a bunch of times. Just have one slide duplicated over and over again so that the animation will spend some time on one image. And here's a student who did that. This is Phoebe's animation right there at the end, at the beginning and the end. She stayed on one image by duplicating a slide over and over and over again so that, nothing's happening. Now, here's another student animation which could have used a pause. I like this one, but could have used a pause at the beginning, at the end, with one slide duplicated over and over. Every animation I've shown you so far has objects sliding across a screen. There might be some processes you want to show where you would need more flexibility. For example, cell division. You couldn't show cell division with just objects sliding across the screen. You need to be able to change and manipulate an object. And Andrew, when he was messing around, he made this animation. And it kind of shows how you can do this. You can make any shape you want, and you can change the shape. And I will show you how to do that. The Google drawing tools aren't great. The Google Slides drawing tools aren't great, but you can do something with them. All right, I'm going to open up a new tab. I'm going to open up a slides document. Blank, get rid of the text boxes, of course, and the tool I'm looking for is the curve tool. It's up here with the lines. I want to go to not curved connector, but simply curve. And then I'm going to click and drag, click, and I'm going to click a bunch of times. I'm going to click, 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 and you'll see why I'm clicking all those times in a little bit. Go back there and click. All right, now if I click on, double click, how do I get? There, finally. All right, do you see all of those little purple handles? I can move them. So if I had something where an object had to change shape, this could be my first slide, duplicate it, second slide, duplicate it, next slide, duplicate it. You can see how Andrew made a creature with a mouth. He just took a handle and put it in. Of course, you can change the color of the object. You can change the color of the border. Slide things around. So this gives you more flexibility for special kinds of animation that you might want to do. All right, the last thing I want to show you is a way that you can share these animations and organize them. What I did is I made a page of all of my students. This is in both of my classes at Savano. It had their names on it. Didn't used to have links on it. Then every student has a link to this page, and everyone has viewing privileges. There are maybe about 6 students who have editing privileges, students whom I trust. When a student finishes their animation, they publish it to the web, they get the link for it, and they email that link to one of the 6 students who are managing this page. Those students look at the animation, make sure it's appropriate, and then make a link on that student's name that links their name to that student's animation. This way they can all see each other's animations. They have something to do when they're done with their animation. It also puts them all in one place so that, I can, if I care to grade them, then I can, look at them and review them all in one place. Anyway, that's the way I do it. Have fun with animation and see what you can come up with. You see what processes that you could come up with that would be appropriate for animation. I'm thinking in physics, there probably are some. Like, for example, could students animate the acceleration of an object? That might be a fun thing to try. All right. I'm Donald Reese. Email me if you have any questions, and the directions, again, are on the page that I included with this. Thank you.